Hello my friends, new spot today and a new outfit. I'm in my hiking gear because when I was on a hike last week, I realized that there are so many things I learned from hiking that apply to my everyday life and business especially that I wanted to share with you. I was actually on my way to that trail again today and then I got there and it was closed. That is why I'm dressed like this. It's not just for fun. But then I realized instead of going to another trail, I'm just going to come home, film this video for you so that I can pass along this wise wisdom that the trail has taught me. These are in no particular order. I just wrote them down on my phone as I was hiking. And the first one is pretty important. Number one, don't rely on future resources. This applies to me in business especially because sometimes I would look ahead and see, oh, well, I'm going to have a launch here, I'm going to have a sale here, and think that some future revenue is coming in and make decisions in my business based on that future projection. And then sometimes when I would get to that launch or get to that sale, either I would change my mind about it, it wasn't a good time anymore, or it wouldn't be as lucrative as I thought it would be. And what I really learned is that depending on resources that are coming in the future, it sets me up into a lack mindset. It sets me up into where I'm assuming that the future is going to pay for my present. This is also why some people get into credit card debt, right? Because they want to spend it now and then pay for it with their imaginary funds later on. And the more I get into the habit of using what I have in the present, feeling like what I have in the present is more than enough, and not assigning dollar bills to the future, it makes me more authentic, more present, and it actually increases my abundance in the moment because I'm already feeling like I have enough. Energetically, if I'm placing more value on the future, if I'm assuming I'm going to pay for the present with the future, I'm getting into this weird lack cycle that actually diminishes all of my results. So just something that I learned. And on various hikes, sometimes you can be assuming that there's a water source ahead when it's actually dried up. So there are so many ways where you don't want to rely on the future resources to provide what you need. Make sure that you have enough for whatever you need for now, for the length of journey that you're on, for the bills that you have to pay. It's a lot easier. A lot easier to get ahead, and it's a lot easier to stay alive. Number two, have the right equipment. And it doesn't need to be expensive. I hiked and camped most of my life, even my adult life, in regular old stuff. I didn't have any specialty clothes. I didn't have any specialty equipment. I had a tent from Walmart, which I love and adore and actually still miss. It lasted me a really long time. You know, I didn't always have the fancy puffy jacket. I did just fine. I loved the outdoors. I got around. But let me tell you, one place where it really does make a difference is shoes. With good shoes, good equipment, you know, hiking poles, whatever would be most beneficial to you for whatever you're doing, it really accentuates the moment. It makes you feel safer and like you can even maybe go places that you couldn't go before because in my case, my shoes are grippier. It enhances the experience. It makes you feel more comfortable. And it allows you to just do what you want to do, which for me is just hike more, hike faster, hike longer, hike bigger, and know that I can handle it and my body's not just going to collapse. For example, I'm a minimalist when it comes to all of this stuff usually. It takes me a long time to adopt anything new, especially hiking poles, which I owned for like 4 years before I ever used them. And I love minimalist hiking shoes. I love the Merrell Vapor Trail Runner. I don't know, I'll put a picture on it here. But this is the shoe that I use all the time for hiking and for walking around in and running and all of that stuff. And I stupidly made the mistake of using them in the Tetons on a 20-mile hike, and it was just a complete disaster. My feet hurt so badly by the time we were almost done. And I think I would have had a much better experience if I had just, you know, caved in and gotten a pair of shoes with some chunky lugs and some cushioning, because man, they do feel really good. And now I run in these too. How this applies to me in business is, man, for so long I stuck with WordPress. I updated it, I fixed it when I broke it, I backed it up, I rebooted it, I did so many things. I bought plugins, I bought templates, I put so much money into it. And I mostly did it because everyone was telling me that I had to do it in order to like own my website. But can I just tell you, I switched to Squarespace a few years ago. This isn't even sponsored. I don't even have an affiliate code, but I would never go back. I do still have a WordPress site or two just because they're like standalone web pages for things, but my functional sites with my blogs that are, you know, interactive, all of that stuff is on Squarespace now. I have 3 sites, and I would never, ever go back to a self-hosted site. It updates itself. It comes with a secure, what's it called, certificate. I don't have to purchase that each year, and I don't have to buy plugins. I don't have to buy anything extra. Sure, it costs a little bit more money, but when you add up all the things you have to buy for WordPress plus the monthly hosting fee, for me, it's cheaper to have Squarespace. This just liberated me so much, and having the right equipment, whether it's for business, life, or hiking, absolutely makes a huge quality of life difference for me.
Or always have a map. I'm on this trail that I've been on before several times, and for some reason the sign to point to the offshoot of the waterfalls was missing, or I missed it somehow, I don't know. So here I am, I overshot the trail that I was supposed to go on, and I just climbed an extra, I don't know, 500 feet for no reason. And luckily I've been here on this part of the trail before, so I recognized it as being different from the one I was going to stay on, but I always have a map. Like, luckily I have an app called All Trails. I've downloaded this map before. I do not have unlimited water today, so I'm probably going to maybe go up a little bit and then turn around. But I mean, I'm not mad about it, but I'm prepared for only a certain amount of miles, and I didn't bring my filter, so I'd basically be out of luck if I just kept going and ran out of water and had none for the return. So be prepared, have a map if you're hiking, know how to get out there and back down. And yeah, good lesson learned.
Number 3, have a map, be prepared. Now, I don't think you need to have your whole life planned out ahead of time. I don't think you need to have a business roadmap in order to succeed. But I think having a general idea of where you want to go in the short term, i.e. on a hiking trail, is really helpful, because you want to have a sense of where you are. Where are you in terms of where you want to be? For example, I want to get an agent this year for my book writing, and in order to do that, I need to create a book proposal for the next book that I want to write, and I've never done that before, so I am getting a program to help me write my book proposal. It is a roadmap. It is a way for me to go from A to B successfully, and in order to get what I want. Now, when I'm hiking, this is so important, because if I get off track, if I don't know where I am time-wise, I need to be able to figure that out really quickly. Otherwise, it could be dangerous. So I always make sure to download maps when I'm going hiking. And I can't tell you how many people ask me on the trail, do you know how far it is to ... Do you know how far it is back? And I whip out my map and I show them. And it's a great visual example of like, you're here, you came from here, this is where you're going, so they can see for themselves. But, you know, God forbid anyone gets lost, especially here in the mountains. Like, you're kind of out of luck. And I never wish that on anyone, but it's just as easy as having a tool, having a map, having some kind of guide program for where you are and where you want to be. And, you know, the rest of it, of course, make it up as you go along. You don't have to know exactly what your outcome is. Like in this case, you don't have to be getting a book agent. in terms of my business vision overall, I haven't always had one, but it's those little steps that we take that we do know where we want to go, and it is really helpful to have a resource. Number 4. This is the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place. I've wanted to make this video for so long, and that is, do not confuse your warm-up with your capacity.
Something I used to do a lot was get discouraged because I thought the struggle at the beginning of my hike or my workout meant like that was my fitness level and that it was kind of doomed. And I wouldn't be able to finish what I started, and it was too hard. But then I learned that if I just got through the first 5, 10, maybe 20 minutes, I felt better. I could go longer, and today is definitely no exception. I mean, even when I'm on an uphill and I'm dying, I can still keep going as long as I, regulate myself, take breaks, have some water, go at the pace I need to go. It's okay to stroll, it's okay to slow down, but don't let that determine your capacity, because once you hit a flat zone, once you are warmed up, once your muscles have the oxygen that they need and the lubrication for your joints, like, you're ready to go. So here I am, like, overshooting my plan of going to the waterfall, and I'm feeling awesome. Like, I wish I had more time, or I'd keep going up and up and up and up, but I will come back, I will do it again, and I will not get discouraged when the uphill is hard.
Everybody needs to warm up. Everybody needs to find their footing, find their breath, find their bearing, and that doesn't count against you. Like, that, you can be sloppy, you can be gasping for breath, and that doesn't mean you're not going to make it up the mountain. It means you're getting your blood flowing, right? You're getting your muscles moving. And that's the same in business. If you are floundering on your first offer, if you have trouble getting a client for the first time or the 5th time, that's okay. That doesn't mean you are doomed forever to have a failing business. You just got to get your stride. I used to think I was so out of shape and couldn't do anything because I would be gasping for breath going up my first hill. And let me just say, if you keep going, you'll get there. Number 5, you want 3 points of contact on your climb. If you're scrambling over steep boulders, if you are actually climbing up a mountain, there's a good rule of thumb to say you want 3 points of contact. You want both feet and 1 hand, or 2 hands and 1 foot on the rock at all times, so you have the most grip so you don't fall off. And in life and business, if you're climbing, if you're going to somewhere new, you want resources at your disposal so that you don't fall off. Now, this could be a mastermind group, it could be a close friend, it could be a program or a map, it could be a combination of the above, it could be a workout routine, it could be journaling. Whatever it is, you want 3 of them just so that you have your bases covered, you have a strong support team, and you know you're not going to fall off as easily. Sure, it's still possible, but it's a lot harder if you're putting that effort into developing a system, developing a way for you to stick to the climb that you're on. Number 6, enjoy the journey. Focus on the feeling and not the destination. So, how do you want to feel in your business? How do you want to feel on that hike? How do you want to feel in life? If that is your focus, you will undoubtedly get to the destination in your mind, or an even better one. I'm like a meandering hiker. I am not in it just for the views. I'm not in it just for the peak. I love the smell of the pines as I walk by them. I love the sound of the water. I love the beautiful views all the way up. Even if I'm in a green tunnel, it doesn't matter to me. I'm there for the experience. I'm there for the beauty. I'm there for the solitude. I'm there for all the reasons that could be possible. And maybe except for, when people have their music playing on the trail. And I'm not in it for that, but I'm in it for the rest of it. And yeah, I do appreciate when I get to the top and I can see the whole city before me, or I can see the whole wilderness and mountain range. Like, that's really cool. I love that. But that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it feels really good the whole entire time, even when I'm gasping for breath walking up the mountain. So in business, if you're only in it for the money, if you're only in it for the status, it's gonna get old really fast. And there's a really great chance that you're not gonna make it to the top, or you're gonna get so burnt out, it's not gonna be worth it to keep going. Focusing on the feeling of why are you doing it? Are you doing it because it's fun for you to experience the world that way, or to share space with people in that way? Is it fun to live out your talents? Is it fun to use your imagination? Is it fun to make money and support yourself doing something that you love? You can appreciate the physical things, but just make sure that it's feeling really good to you, or you really do risk burnout and not continuing, which would be sad. So do something that's fun. Number 7, small steps are okay. This is not a race, my friends, and oftentimes small steps are what is needed to stay steady. So I don't like tumbling down a mountain. I did take a little tumble on my last hike.
Well, darn this video. I just fell. I never fall, you guys. I'm so steady. But I decided to walk on top of this rock instead of around this rock, and I landed on my knee. At first I was a little worried because I have a long way to go back down, but it's actually like feeling good. Took some water. But
that's very rare for me. Small steps help you get to where you want to go, and there's nothing wrong with that. 8, it is always good to know where you are. We covered this a little bit in the having a map thing, like, you want to be able to find out where you are, but it's also really good to know where you are. So how much time do you have left? Can you go up further? Do you have to turn around? In business, is it realistic to think that you can have this big of a launch when you've only had this big of a launch? And I'm all for thinking big and expecting big, but I'm also for feeling and knowing in your body what you have energetically prepared, right? I used to have these just gigantic goals for myself, and when I wouldn't hit them, I would think that I was doing something wrong. It's just that I wasn't being honest with myself about where I really was. I still had more resistance than I was admitting to. I still had more pre-paving to do, more aligning to do to get to those bigger numbers. And when I figured that out and I became okay with that, I was able to lessen a lot of that resistance just in that acceptance. And so it's the same outdoors. If I were so imaginative to think that I could hike 50 miles in one day right now, it would leave me in a really precarious place. I might freeze to death in the wilderness, who knows? So it's always good to know where you are, feel in honestly, what is my next best step? What is a good goal for me to have? And honestly, great goals are feeling goals. And I know for me, I get such satisfaction out of a 15-mile hike as I probably would out of a 50-mile hike. So I'm just gonna build up my own pace over time, taking small steps if I need to. Thank goodness, I'm so relieved. You never know when you take a tumble what's gonna happen. Like, I thought, am I gonna seize up? Can I get down? Luckily, it doesn't feel bad at all. And of course, I might tomorrow. I can ice it, I can take care of it, but if you stumble, if you fall, it's okay to get back up again. It's also okay to rest and take care of yourself. And the same with my business, because I know that small steps are okay and they lead to bigger manifestations. 9, it's okay to run. It is okay to outpace people. So just like small steps are okay, if you are feeling the running, go for it. Pick up the pace. It's okay if you run ahead of people. Back when I was just learning about business, I was in classes with a lot of peers in the same position. Like, we'd never had this before. We're just starting out. Maybe some of us had offline businesses like me. that were very small, but I had no idea about this online business world, and it turns out that I was pretty good at it. And so I started developing a bigger business than a lot of the people I'd been in classes with. And that was okay. They looked up to me. I inspired them to grow their businesses too. There's no one pace for everybody. If you are feeling great on your journey, that is the path of success, because that is what allows in more of those physical results that you're looking for. So it's okay to run, it's okay to go slowly, it's up to you. And number 10, it's okay to be awesome, and it's okay to impress people. I never set out to impress anyone with my hiking. In fact, I was really self-conscious about it because I always hiked with people who were just faster than me. And I thought, I'm not anything special, I'm not doing anything amazing out here. And when I moved to Utah, where I'd only been hiking on the East Coast, which our mountains are this big, and in the Rockies, which is where I am now, the mountains are this big, I was very, very intimidated. Not to mention, we're at a high altitude here, so there's less oxygen in the air, which makes hiking harder. There's also steeper trails because our mountains go straight up, and you gotta walk on the mountain to get up the mountain. So there were so many things that I was mentally overcoming, and physically too. So I waited for about a year before I went on any major trails because I just didn't think I could do it. I didn't think that was me. And it's so funny to think now, I wanted to be the person to hike those trails. And I remember one of the first actual peaks I climbed here, I felt so incredible, so amazing. And I know that a lot of people were really impressed by that, including me, you know, and my dad, he was like, wow, you're really doing amazing things out there. And I felt that, and it's okay to feel impressive. It's okay to feel awesome. You can internalize that, even if it's just for hiking or if it's for business, if you're winning awards, getting accolades, getting praise, you can internalize that. It's okay. There's nothing wrong or weird about that whatsoever.
Just 100 more feet until I get to the top. Oh, I'm stoked. I'm really, really enjoying this. I love the climbing on the rocks. I love the views. Haven't seen any mountain goats or anything, but who knows? I still gotta get down. You wanna see down from here? It's like all along the ridge. And down and down and down and down and down. And then up and then down. Oh, and over there, that's where I parked. This is like incredible.
It's okay to impress people, and you're amazing, so I know you are. So let it in and just get that inner smile going. Okay, my friends, well, that is it. That is my top 10 things that hiking has taught me about life and business. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like my hiking outfit, and I'll see you again really soon. Lots and lots and lots of love. Bye. P.S. This is my day pack. This is the other love of my life. It is a Gregory. This one is made for women. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I'll show you a little bit of what's in my pack. So I carry this water bladder here because it's lightweight. This is one of my favorite actual water containers. I got it at Yellowstone. It's also pretty lightweight. This time of year I need gloves, so I have those. Always have tissues. And the one thing that I didn't get to try today that I was really excited about is I just found these like gluten-free toaster pastries. And I'm really excited to have these as my trail food, because you definitely need to eat when you're doing these trails. Let's see. I've got a water filter so that I can scoop up water on the trail and drink it if I run out of my pre-planned water carry. And then just some random things up here, but one of the most important is my little GPS SOS device. And I can text with this, I can get the weather, I can track my route, I can call for help if I need it. Hopefully that'll never happen, but better be prepared. And a headlamp, just in case I'm a little slow coming off the mountain. Also got some other things in here, but pretty normal things, chapstick and the like. So that's my pack. All right, guys, see you later.